we open up here on a certain Mr. Sun walking into Middle Tower and being met by a red-haired woman who is, well, I guess we'll just let them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Mr. Sun. I'm here for a meeting with Middle Tower Management.
Hi, that's us. I am Candace Everbright. It is lovely to meet you, Mr. Sun. I am glad you could be here. As you look around the room, Mr. Sun, you see 9 other faces, 2 of which are familiar to you.
Ah, he first gives a long stare at Red before looking over the rest of the room, trying to find the kid he was told about, who
Uh,
I imagine is also there.
the kid you were told about is not actually there. They are currently missing.
Well then, I take it this is the group I'll be meeting with today.
Um, yes. Now that we've got everybody here for today, well, other than Steel, let's introduce ourselves real quick. Um, let's, uh, let's start from, uh, you, M. And how we're going to be doing this is we are going to give both an out of character like description of your character, what you look like, um, so on and so forth, and then any sort of like important information you'd want to reveal about your character, stuff that people would just sort of know, and then you will give an in character like brief introduction. So we will start with UM.
So yeah, you see sitting kind of like trying not to really like be with the group, kind of just to the side. This late teens, early 20s individual, short, choppy hair, dark circles under their eye from what appears to be not sleeping much, and just kind of chilling to the side. What else do I need to describe at this time? Not exactly sure what exactly needs to be said.
I mean, that's fine. That's a physical description of
Uh,
your character. Feel free to give a in person, like actual introduction or in
uh,
character.
yeah, they kind of just look up and I'm part of the tower, I guess.
Uh, uh, thank you, M. Uh, Red. Would you like to introduce yourself?
You see average height, mid 20s woman just like standing against the wall with one leg to the wall. Uh, some things you need to know about her, which you guys would all know, is that uh, she feeds on the life essence of humans and is technically a monster. I'm not quite sure how I would like introduce myself. Probably just standoffish, like not much. Name's Red.
Okay. Thank you, Red. And you see Candace like actively scanning the room to find somebody who might lighten it up a little bit, and she gestures over to Wallace, aka Willie, and says, "Wallace, would you like to introduce yourself to the group?"
You see a very bored, tired-looking man sort of slouching in a chair, uh, away from the group, a little wanting to be anywhere but here. You've probably heard of him if you frequent the internet. He is pretty popular among forums for his conspiracy theories and his research out in the wastes. Uh, he looks up at Candace, um, and he introduces himself. Name's Wallace. Yeah.
Realizing Candace mixed up two of the hunters, she then quickly and worriedly gestures over to William, aka Little Willie, and says, William, would you like to please introduce yourself?
Trying to steal my thunder there, huh, Wallace? There can only be one Willie, and the name's Lil Willie. Salutations, everybody. Lacrimosa, born and raised. You take a look at him as he's speaking, and he's got this kind of, he's got a red vest over the top of a blue and white striped button-up. And it's noticeable to you that this is kind of like the fashion of several years ago. So it's a little aged. And to his side in one hand, so he's holding it, and it's just straight down, touching the ground, balancing on it, is a hoverboard. Anyone who's familiar with Manatech would know that it's obviously an item of Manatech, and, got to keep it on the person. So Lil Willie just says, yep, nice to meet y'all. I hope we can enjoy each other's company as we, work towards the dangers that we're facing.
Wallace just sort of rolls his eyes.
Did you say Little Willie, like a rap name?
No, I didn't say Little Willie. I said Lil Willie.
Lil Willie.
That's correct.
It's a
Mr.
rap
Sun,
name.
I presume? Based
Yeah.
on Candace's introduction, You could say I'm somewhat perceptive. I wouldn't, but you could.
And talkative. Who's next?
Would you like to go, Mr. Sun?
Yeah, my name's Mr. Sun. As you heard, I can already see why I was called here. A bunch of you are essentially about as energetic as wet noodles, except for you, Lil Willie, who might be a little too energetic. I was under the assumption I was going to be meeting with some seasoned monster hunters, but based off of introduction alone, I am hoping not to be disappointed. And he is carrying a large black suitcase or briefcase in his right hand, which is adorned with a silver watch, and he is wearing a fitted suit.
Mr. Sun here was sent to us as a professional hunter, and he will help everybody sort of get a grasp on things, I guess. I have recruited all of you, of course, because you are all skilled in your own ways, and I'm sure this will end up being a wonderful time. Let's see. Next person next. James, would you like to go? James? Oh, I'm sorry. Jimmy?
What it do?
Might be a way.
Thank you for the raid,
Oh.
Tara. Frost, are you here?
I was still muted.
I'm proud of you.
Hello. The name's James or Jimmy. Either one is fine. I was sent here to Lacrimosa by Chandel in Frostholm, and was told that help was needed here. So I traveled here about a week ago with Enlil. Anybody who needs anything, let me know. We bring a great wealth of knowledge from the other city and may be able to help.
Do you want to give a quick physical description of your character?
Yeah, sure. It's a middle-aged guy, kind of between shoulder length and shorter than that hair. Seems a bit grizzled. Does have some glasses on as well. And he's wearing he's wearing a shirt and pants, but over the top of it is almost some like a robe-ish kind of thing. Not like a bathrobe, but like more of like a traveling robe. I can't really think of a good term for it. Like a longer cloakish kind of thing.
Excellent. With that, Enlil, would you like to introduce yourself?
Enlil stands to full height. A girl with colorless hair and colorless eyes, and the outfit of a knight. I come bringing the shield of protection from Frostholm to a land who has been abandoned by their god.
Candace smiles a little bit nervously and has a quick chuckle. Thank you. Let's see here. Noah.
Protect the people here. I hope to protect them from the monsters. And gives a glance and a blink at Mr. Sun.
Who immediately looks away.
Hope you can protect us from the monsters within, glancing at Red.
Nervously looking away.
And you make very good stories doing so. Hello, my name is Noah Vale. I just got here a few weeks ago. I've been living on the ridge recently, and I'm just really happy to be here.
And we are...
Sorry, I was going to give a description.
Oh yeah, go for it, go for it.
So he has this mess of shoulder-length auburn hair, these vacant blue eyes. He's wearing a tattered blue, looks like it used to be blue, but it's very faded blue coat. And just like very worn shoes and pants. But he has a smile on his face, but he looks absolutely exhausted, but trying to keep it together.
And we are very happy to have you here, Noah. Being fairly perceptive, Candace picks up on some of the latent hostility in the room and just sort of laughs it off and gestures over to Ash. It's like, Ash, would you like to introduce yourself?
Me next. Yes. You guys see Ash kind of like jumps up to also stand at her full height. You see this kind of younger girl. She looks about like looks like she kind of just turned 18. Pretty young, and she has kind of this fairly long black hair with her bangs are dyed white. One eye is seems like kind of a regular one eye is kind of like purplish brown in a way, and then the other is kind of like this bright yellow. It's really weird and kind of off-putting. But she looks like she's just wearing like the highest amount of fashion that Lacrimosa has to offer. She's like, hi, I'm Ash. I'm from Lacrimosa University, and I really like starting fires. And I can't wait to work with you all. Especially Bestie M over here. And she'll just kind of go over and drag M to the middle.
M just lets out a sigh. Just, Ash, I've talked to you about this. I don't like being here.
Yeah, well, I don't like being alone, okay?
Thank you, and thank you again, M. Z? I think you're one of the last people on the list. Would you like to introduce yourself?
figure with sharp red eyes and messy black hair steps out of the shadows and cocks their left hand in a gun shape while tapping one of their elven-shaped ears. They glance at the other hunters while tapping their ear, and halt their glance and smile widely. My name is Z.
Welcome. And I would like to, now that we have gone through all of the introductions, I would like to welcome everybody to Middle Tower. And she just sort of gestures around to the room. It's a fairly standard, sort of like office lobby, like think almost like you go to, I don't know, an appointment, like a job interview or something, and you're having to sit out in the main lobby. It looks sort of like that. The front desk, and behind it is a bunch of cabinets with various files and stuff, slightly haphazardly thrown about right now. And a head pokes up from behind there and is like, "Oh, I guess we should probably introduce ourselves to, hi, I'm Sarah Everbright. It is wonderful to meet you all. I will be your record keeper. I look forward to working with you. If you ever need any help on any of your hunts, any hints, I will see what I can scrounge up from what we have or what the guild has." Yeah, and she dives back into a pile of paperwork that she is working on in the back. A man who has been sitting there for a while sort of scoffs and it's like, yes, the rest of us should too. He has long white hair and it's tied back in a ponytail right now. I am Jackie Hidell, and I would like to welcome you all here, so on and so forth. If you see me, you are probably going to be hurt, and let's minimize that, shall we? The less you get injured, the less time I have to spend fixing you, and that is ideal. I don't want any of you dying on me. And next to him, a small-ish figure stands up and smiles and proudly puts her hand on her chest and says, "Hello, I am Ellie Miles, and I practically live downstairs in the workshop. If you need anything made or adjusted, don't be afraid to ask. I have been known to make things on the job for other people, and you are no different, especially since I am your dedicated engineer. So, also, if you get any monster parts or so on and so forth from the monsters, bring those back to me, and I will see what I can do as far as researching them and seeing what we can do with them, because as some of you may or may not be aware who are in the hunting business, all monster parts are essentially free game. So it is definitely not illegal, and I cannot stress that enough, to do things with these parts. Don't think about it too much." And Candace laughs nervously and looks at everybody and is like, would you all like to go on a little tour of the place? And I can show you around before we get started with business.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sure.
Lead on.
Excellent, excellent. And Candace breathes a sigh of relief as you all first take a trip to the records room and getting a closer look at it. You can see that everything is organized by organized alphabetically by names that are essentially come up for on the spot for monsters, which means there's a lot of them. There is so much variety in monsters that almost every monster you see will not be the same. It is almost rare to find the same thing twice. There are patterns that happen in monsters, which is why keeping records of old monsters that have been killed helps. Because you can see, for example, if something uses a certain kind of acid to dissolve something, you can, like, it'll be universal the way to treat that acid, so on and so forth. The only missing thing in here would be, of course, the monsters that you have yet to see, which there are plenty, and some of you who are more well-versed in monster hunting are well aware of that by this point. If you choose to spend any downtime in this area, you will be spending time with Sarah, and if you want to do any RP stuff with her, you can feel free to do that if you like take downtime in that area. Moving on, you all walk down towards the basement, which is fairly large, but the amount of spare equipment down there makes it seem a lot smaller. The place isn't necessarily tidy. You can see several half-baked, half-finished products strewn about. Several things hanging on a wall very neatly that are actually completed. But everything that is in progress is just sort of lying around on tables and desks and held in grips. And you can see a ferret-like creature on a table that instead of a head, it is almost like a worm's... you know how a worm's mouth looks? That is what its head looks like, with the ferret legs and the tail. And it is half ripped open as Ellie was surely looking through it. And Ellie gestures to the entire basement and goes, "Welcome to my lair!"
Yeah, warm reception. Is this where all the gear is made?
Yup. Anything you could possibly need. Well, within reason. If you want something made, it is going to cost for parts and the such. Of course, most supplies and stuff are taken directly from Lacrimosa as a business expense. You don't really need to worry about personal expenses while you're here. However, once something is made, it is not necessarily yours. It is Middle Tower's. But the good thing about that is, say, somebody requests something to use, somebody else could then use that in a hunt later if they so needed it. We keep all previous gear here from previous hunts that was especially made, so on and so forth. So if you need something, come down and ask me about it, and we'll see if we have something to solve your problem.
Well, it looks like you have a good start at the very least for your workshop. Is it fine for me to store my gear, which belongs to me, here as well?
Oh, yeah. Anything you need can be stored in those lockers over there. And Ellie points at a wall of fairly large lockers that take up one of the walls in the room. A few of those are filled with some of my stuff, but y'all can definitely find a few empty ones in there. I'm sure of it. Maybe.
He takes a moment, walks over to one of the lockers, looking for an empty one. He then puts his briefcase in there and lets out a sigh of relief. All right, I'm ready to continue on with the tour.
Do you do work for personal projects for people, or is it only for Middle Tower?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if it's for personal projects, and she sort of thinks for a second, as a world building thing here, most trade is done through bartering in Lacrimosa, rather than there being a like real efficient or official currency. Most thing is done in trade, either by work or secrets, so on and so forth. Whatever you can find that may have value. And to Ellie, there is a whole lot of things that have value to her. So,
Okay.
You said your name was Ellie, right?
Yep, that's the name.
He takes out a notepad and starts writing, and it's only you who works in this workshop. No team?
Anybody who wants to help out can. I'm not sure if Candace has gone over other activities that you'll be doing here, and Candace just sort of shakes her head and smiles. Right. I'll let her get to that later. But yeah, basically, you guys will be able to come down here and help me out if you want. You can either help me out on projects, or come down here and hang out while I make stuff for you and sort of custom tailor something for you. If you need an adjustment to one of your pieces of gear, I can do that. But yeah, so pretty much me, and then whatever one of them, and points to the crowd of people that has half entered her workshop. Any one of them could also be helping.
I see. He finishes writing and then puts the notepad in his back pocket.
So what is this thing? And Ash is currently circling the ferret worm.
Oh, don't worry about it. That's just something that a group of temporary hunters brought back to me. They were they're working directly from the guild, and they thought I might want it, so they brought it back. And Ellie is visibly sweating just a smidgen. And sort of goes, anyways, Candace, would you like to continue taking them on the tour? I have some more work to get done here. And Candace goes, oh, yes, of course. Thank you for the explanation here, Ellie. You have saved me some time. And Candace gathers everybody back up and heads upstairs to the second floor of Middle Tower.
Thank you, Ellie.
Of course, anytime. And you are all brought up to the second floor, which is housing. Welcome to the Middle Tower dorms. Technically, we have enough space here for most of you. Not quite all. We have about 8 rooms. But if anything happens and you need to be somewhere safer, or well, not home, figure you can stay here. Or if you don't have a home, as I know some of you may be in that case, which I've already spoken to some of you about, and I'm pretty sure you already have your stuff here. But anywho, and she goes over to one of the empty rooms and opens it, and shows you around one of them, and it is a fairly nice, like, studio apartment sized room, like a tiny kitchen, place to store your food, so on and so forth. It's a fairly nice place to live for just like free board for your workplace. We like to treat our hunters fairly well around here, so we had these designed. And as I said, if this is better living than what you're currently living in, we can work out an arrangement for you to live here. There is personal dining, and then there is also a sort of what's the word? I guess mess hall area if you wish to go there. There's no provided food or anything, but it is a group space that you can have food with your fellow housemates if you so desire.
Noah just glances over at Wallace and just glances back at the room, and then back at Wallace, and then back at the room.
Wallace is completely oblivious.
Alright. Finally, let's take you to our final destination here, and takes you all up to the third floor, or it's sort of the attic. It is split into halves. One half is the medical ward, where you find Jackie currently sitting and organizing some of his tools. This is probably the cleanest place in all of Middle Tower right now. You can see that Jackie keeps this place very spick and span and is prepared to take people in at any point. Oh, hello everyone. I wasn't expecting you to all get here quite yet. Welcome. This is the place you should never really have to come to. Ideally. If you do have to come here, I will make sure that you are fit to go back out into the world of hunting within as early as I can. I am no miracle worker, but I will do the best that I possibly can with what I have. Which, to be fair, and he gestures around at some fairly nice medical equipment, some of it being like Manatech medical equipment, which is fairly state-of-the-art. What I have isn't necessarily the worst. So, few quick things. If you come here, whatever downtime activities you will be doing, and Candace just smiles, realizing that she still hasn't taken the time to discuss that with them, and Jackie sees that on her face and just sighs and is like, well, whatever extra things you will be doing will have to be cut short if you are injured beyond repair. That being if you are put into unstable in game mechanics terms at any point during a hunt, you will not be able to do the rest of your downtime activities for the rest of the month, and will have to spend your time resting in the medical ward for the rest of it. I changed some things, and that will not stop you from going on any hunts. If there is a major hunt that ends up happening, or anything major, and you are in the medical ward, you might come back with not full health. But that is going to be a rare scenario. So, and you will be brought back to pretty much full health or full health, depending on how injured you are, by your next hunt. Game mechanic stuff aside, if any of you want to help me here, it would be much appreciated. Whenever we get people around, it helps to have a helping hand, and it helps me get them back out into the field much faster. And I am also changing something that is on the sheet currently. Before it was helping would only make sure that it heals more harm for everybody. Now it essentially makes it so if somebody's screwed out of their downtime activities because they are hurt, it nullifies that. So as long as at least one person is helping in the med bay, even if somebody is injured, it won't be a problem. They will either help them get around or help injured people get around, or so on and so forth. With each person, it adds more people that they can help get their stuff done. Essentially, for every one person, it's going to be 3 people that are unstable that can be helped, which ideally 1 should be enough. Hopefully you guys don't get injured that badly, that regularly. But we'll see what happens as hunts get harder.
But
Again, mechanic stuff aside. Jackie waves and is like, well, I think that's just about my spiel, unless anybody has any questions of any sort.
I raised my hand. Is there, like, I have a question. Is there, like, any guard force around here? Or anything like that in Mill Tower?
I mean, there are the live-in hunters that are going to be here, as well as the rest of the staff. We may not look the part necessarily, but it was part of our training getting into the guild to actually be able to hunt some of the things that we know about. So if push comes to shove, we are here and are trained to be able to stop people. But no, there is no real guard.
I do a little, like, half smile and be like, well, if everyone has their own little fighting experience here, I know my way around some needles. Let's just say I have some experience with them before.
Okay, I'm not quite sure if I liked how you worded that, but are you saying you would like to help around here?
Yes. I would like to help the injured.
Excellent. I will be sure you are the one that I call on first, if ever is the case. Candace, you will probably want to inform them about some of their duties around here. Yes, I know, Jackie. I was getting to that. I just wanted to show them around first so they know where they're going to be living. And she gestures to everyone and is like, all right, let's head back down into the lobby and see what's what. And I will inform you all on your monthly tasks and what will be happening. And
Didn't you say there was another area? Didn't you say this was split in half at the top? Like there were 2 areas at the top floor?
yes, I did.
Mhm.
Was that in character? Sorry.
No, I was asking you, it
Okay.
was like, did I miss the description of that other place? But I don't know.
No, I hadn't talked about it yet. There is essentially a door leading. It is a hallway, and then there's a door leading to the med bay, and there's a door leading to whatever is on the other side there.
God. Okay.
And you are all led back downstairs.
We
Mr.
get into like, you know, the whole exactly what you want us to do. Um it's gonna sound a little bit weird, but is there any place in here where we could, oh, I don't know, practice, I suppose, for hunts?
Not currently. We are still working on getting more amenities set up around here. We are working on acquiring another building nearby that we are going to be repurposing for such a thing, but that is going to require some supplies. So, not quite yet, but however, there is an area for training and the such over at the guild. It is just a more public experience, and you have to be a little bit more careful around there. Not that you shouldn't be practicing being careful when we're working inside the city and not outside of it anyways, but yes, we are currently working on that.
Okay. Mr. Sun, who's been taking notes during the entire tour, holds up now that he sees we're leaving. Excuse me, Miss Everbright, where does that door go? And he points to the door that was definitely brought up out of character.
Oh, that door is... that leads to the living quarters for me and my sister. That is where we currently hold residence.
I see.
And she smiles and it's like, does that work for you? Is that good?
Yeah. Yes. Unless you're lying.
I'm not.
Why you would?
I'm not lying. I was just making sure. She eyes the notepad and just now realizing that you have it. It's like I'm just making sure that your inspection is up to par.
We said I'm taking an inspection. He says, writing down something again.
There's gonna be a test on this later.
A single,
you know,
a single bead of sweat rolls down Candace's forehead as she turns around and walks back down the stairs towards the lobby. Gathering everybody back around, she brings out a like a chalkboard and rolls it into the room. It's like, all right, so 2 things that are very important, and that's going to be downtime activities as well as hunts. And she begins to write down some stuff on the chalkboard. And first of all, it is about the downtime activities. You all, on top of your normal responsibilities, of course, signing up for times to be prepared to be called for any sort of hunt, will be asked to be doing some either personal upkeep or upkeep for Lacrimosa itself, or work for the guild, whatever suits your tastes. There's some extra hunting that can be done if you so desire. There is some escort stuff, escorting people to the mines. And other odd jobs. They could all be found in these pamphlets, and she hands all of them out to everybody, and it essentially has everything that's on the list. I'm going to go over them all real quick for the audience. There's a list of downtime activities. There is defending the walls, which can earn supply, but gives harm to that particular person for the start of their next hunt. Assisting in the docks, and that gives just a money reward. Assisting the guild's information center, which allows you to hold +1 for your next sharp roll, as well as giving some supply. And then there's a way to get some mana crystals by helping the gathering and mining teams. In the medical bay, you can either rest, which is how you restabilize, or you can help out other hunters. Or you can help out there and help other hunters get healed. There's helping Candace, where hunters can run errands for her and doing some light favors, which gains Lacrimosa a boost to reputation, which is an important mechanic in this, which essentially it's going to check all of the hunters and make sure that when they're interacting with NPCs and stuff, they aren't murder hobos. And they aren't causing property damage when they can help it. Or helping Candace, they can gather reports, which will give an extra tidbit of information at the start of other hunters' hunts. So that will give every other group a little bit of extra information to work with at the start of their hunt. Helping Sarah, you can get slightly faster report times on Sarah when asking her for information in the middle of a hunt, depending on how many people are helping her. As well, you can compile information, which gives current teams a +1 to investigate a mystery. And then there is a series of training, which gives characters hold 2s to +tough or +weird. And then there's also ways to give experience to a hunter or train yourself and help yourself gain experience. Finally, there is Help Ellie, which you can help with research, which adds an additional project to the sort of research process. And then there is adjusting equipment, which you can go and get your equipment changed, either by like making it somewhat stronger with some other negatives, or by changing out some of the tags, for example, like adding a silencer to a weapon, so on and so forth. And then finally, there's building relations, which you can hang out with other NPCs and build your relationship with them. This can be with any NPC that we run into that, of course, you have a decent standing with. They're not going to want to hang out with you if they hate you. And you can call on them for favors later, sort of as you may need them, as long as you are with good relations with them. And that covers all of the downtime stuff. And Candace sort of smiles, having gone through the list, and starts her next topic. Yeah. And begins talking about the hunts. And it's like, all right, so I'm going to need you all to sort of also sign up for when you're going to be regularly available for these hunts. And she points at 3 slots on the board. Just throw in your names here, and once a hunt happens, you will be the first ones to call on. Of course, we only have 11 people here. There are 3 different columns. we're gonna have to split groups into a 4, a 4, and a 3. So that group of 3 should probably feel a bit more comfortable with whatever they're going to be doing. And she sort of puts a chalk down on the bottom of the chalkboard and gestures to the board, and people are able to come up. But just as the chalkboard hits the bottom, or the chalk hits the bottom of the chalkboard, the doors open to the lobby, and somebody walks through.
Told you I don't have a card. He's a service animal. No, you can't talk to my mom. She's dead. Hi, everybody.
Aw, cute.
What just happened?
Hi. Hello, Steel. Everyone, this is going to be your final member of the group. And she smiles and gestures for Steel to come over and sit down. Would you like to introduce yourself to the group, Steel?
Sure. Sorry for the bad introduction. My name is Steele. I'm 15. I really don't know what I'm looking for exactly, but there's some spooky shit out there. I was attacked by some sort of a apparition, demon, ghost, and now I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened and where to go from here. What the hell is out there? As you could...
Candace smiles and like waves her hands a little bit and is like, that's enough, Steel.
Oh, and this is Cairo, my service animal. He's a dog. And I just kind of gesture over to this big white dog with a long ass snoot.
Can I pet it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes!
Oh, that's
Actual
nice.
pet dog.
That's
nice. Candace
And
laughs
are we going to hunt this?
worriedly. What was that?
And are we going to hunt this apparition?
That's one of the things we were sort of hoping for. That's in the works. We're still doing research as well as research on a few other monsters that we know about, but not where they are. The guild hasn't given us too much to work with because they don't know much either. And she is visibly frustrated. But yes, that is one of the few goals here at Middle Tower. And she gestures for Steel to take a seat. And looks back at the board and sort of gestures towards it. And it's like, well, anybody want to come put in there like when they want to be hunting and who they want to be hunting with? And how this is essentially flavored is it's start of the week, middle of the week, end of the week. And because, of course, canonically, nobody knows what the hunts are going to be before they're there, but I do have a slight hint as to what they're going to be on the actual Excel sheet, the mission board for you all. And I have 3 missions already listed in there.
And just for clarification, the mission 1, mission 2, mission 3 is going to be real time, beginning of the week, middle of the week, end of the week? Or
Well, it's not. I want to specify two things. It's going to be month, not week. That was my bad if I misspoke.
got it.
Everything is going to be happening sort of in real time. We're going to just play these as we can. If it works easier for people to be able to do like the first mission here, Disturbance in the Park, at the end of the month, then that's totally fine. We're just going to play them in order. We're just going to play them in the order that they can happen.
Got it.
Rose has been generous enough to help me some with the organizing of this. So as far as this goes, sign up for the stuff that you want and then work on it amongst your members. Figure out when you want to meet. And then let me and or Rose know, and we will sign those up. These are going to be like essentially, we're going to do 3 hunts a month, unless I end up feeling comfortable with doing more than that a month. It all just depends on how long this is going to take, or how long hunts are going to take and stuff. And these first ones are probably going to take a little bit, because everybody's going to be sort of getting into the mechanics and so on and so forth. So, keep that in mind for the first sessions. But, ideally, sessions would start on, at around, like, 6 o'clock-ish. I can go earlier, but that should be the sort of general consensus is regularly hunts will be at around 6 o'clock. If we have to adjust forward or backwards, then we can. And if a hunt absolutely will not work for you with your group that you are in because of the date, then we can work on swapping people. It is going to take a lot of communication between yourselves, because it is a little bit difficult for me to organize 11 people, as I figured out with Terrace. It can be a little bit overwhelming to organize that many people for this. So to keep things nice and smooth and running, make sure to be communicating with each other on when you want to play, and with myself. And when I start getting work, I will be able to update some of the stuff with my full schedule. But right now, I'm pretty much free whenever to do this. So find a date that works amongst yourselves.
After 6 is perfect for me, so any day.
And this isn't something that we necessarily, as far as like times and stuff go, this isn't necessarily something that we have to figure out right now. But the other thing is we will be doing one of these meetings, one of these big group meetings at the start of every month, like as early as possible. It's probably going to be like, try to be like the first weekend of every month or something like that. We'll solidify it by next month. But so we can do this sort of thing, do a quick RP session, run through any of the downtime activity RP stuff that any of you want to run through. Some of you want to talk to one of the other players, you can, so on and so forth. Think like the RP sessions in Terrace, sort of how those went. For those of you who played in Terrace, it's going to be very similar to that, where we're going to play through a few of the scenarios and do housekeeping stuff. And of course, the next set of missions will be revealed at each one of these sessions as well. So look forward to that. And of course, if you can't make it for one of those sessions, that's totally fine. It would be like preferred that you can make it, but like if something comes up, it's totally cool. It's not like you're missing a hunt or anything. And you can always fill out some of the stuff in post. So it's not too big of a deal if you have to miss it for something else. But I just want to make everybody aware that that is something that is going to be happening, because it will help us keep things organized and help keep the audience involved on everything that's going on top of giving us a chance to do some just free RP stuff. So.
Question.
Yes.
The dates are determined by the people in the group, right? Whenever they're all available.
Yep.
Okay.
And
And then these groups will change as people sign up for different missions, right?
Yep. For example, next month it'll be 3 new missions, and people can do whatever the heck they want. And it's not necessarily going to be like clean cut, like always going to be M, Noah, and Ash, or always going to be Steel, Wallace, Red, and Mr. Sun, so on and so forth. But it will change monthly sort of what the groups are going to be, which should keep things nice and fresh, hopefully.
Okay, so disturbance in the park tomorrow at 6. Got it.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say...
I'll just do that while rating. It's okay.
Easy.
Yes. I will say, keep in mind normal planned events as well that I do. Right now, Fridays aren't super free for me because that's when I normally do Vibe Nights. Mondays I can adjust. It's just the dating sim stuff, and I can do it earlier or whatever. I don't really care. And then, of course, Saturday is anime night, so we can't do stuff that starts too terribly late if something has to get pushed to like a later time. So just sort of keep that normal stuff in mind, and then I will keep you guys updated once I get up and running with work. Hopefully I'll know more about that in like a week or two, probably 2-ish. So by next month there will be slightly different scheduling, but yeah.
Are Sundays looking like this time slot looking pretty okay for you though?
Sundays are cool for me. This time slot. Saturdays are generally cool for me. It just has to be before, like, anime night doesn't start till 10:30. So as long as we're starting at that like 6 o'clock time slot, like I was saying, then we will. And if we end up having like a particularly long session and we end up having to cut it into 2 pieces, that will also be something that we have to organize on top of that. Organizing a follow-up before like the next set of missions happen, because I want to keep things moving and trying to do this all in real time. Like every month that passes, like every full month that passes is another full month in Lacrimosa. So every start of the month meeting is also a start of the month meeting in like Lacrimosa. So everything, I want to keep everything. Yeah, I want to keep everything sort of organized like that.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you, Nick. Any other questions about this sort of mechanical stuff? Everybody pretty cool on it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna add a availability tab to the player info so we can all at least know if there are days that just like straight up don't work for people.
Oh, that is a very good idea.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah, the more organized we can be, the better. Because the biggest thing is, since I want to keep players engaged, since we're essentially doing, for you guys, it's going to only really feel like one real hunting session and an RP session a month. But that's about all that I can handle currently. So I don't want to overwhelm myself. So this was sort of the best solution that I could sort of come up with for it. So hopefully it works out. And if it doesn't, we'll readjust. Because I plan on seeing this thing through to the end. I've spent like every morning for the last however many months, like 3 months, prepping story for this. So I have an ending. That's
I'm
the
very
important thing.
excited.
Cool.
I'll start typing before I finish setting it up.
We already have
Cool.
9 people signed up.
Huh?
Yeah.
We already have 9 people signed up for the first mission.
Oh, were we not
We're, like,
supposed to
almost
immediately
done.
sign up?
No, you guys totally can. That is
It's like,
honestly
we got, like,
ideal.
everybody right away. Almost.
I mean, everyone was here, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all on
they'd
call.
all just.
You know what you
are
want to do.
ready to roleplay, damn it.
Let's go.
This is my second session 0 today.
All I'm saying is the first group looks like it's gonna be a really fucking interesting mission.
The
I
second it was
these
said, I forgot
encounters.
where the thing is.
What was that?
I had two thoughts in my
Ben.
head. It was I want to make sure that I'm in a party with the child,
Oh, there it is.
and I also wanted to see where Red was going. And I saw the monster one in the party with the child, and I was like, okay.
You're like, I need to supervise that.
Okay, but like,
You're not gonna want to
child
supervise
has
the
a
2 chaos
supervisor.
gremlins going investigating.
True.
pranks.
That's what I'm
The
doing.
other 2 basically children, just not as
listen,
young.
listen. I was looking at where the children were not, and I forgot that Steel was also a child.
Oh, no. The
Oh,
the
no.
group from Mischief and
can't
Great Rock
believe
is
this.
so good.
Oh,
Steel has a
Jesus.
supervisor, don't worry.
I had a question. How old is Z?
It's in
Z
the player.
22, okay.
honestly.
Got it. Yep. I forgot to look at that.
Listen,
Siblingsy.
being a child is more of like a mental state than anything, you know.
True.
I'm gonna say, I think out of everybody in the cast, I'm the only one playing a literal child.
Let's check.
Pretty
But a
much,
figurative
you know.
child.
Yeah, technically. yes.
Mentally.
Yeah,
Mentally.
Ash is the second youngest at 18.
I wanna
True.
gather everybody back together real quick to say, if you, Kyrie, is that last mission going to be cool for you to be on?
Yes, very much so.
Hmm.
Assuming it is the latest one in the month.
Yeah, I mean it should be. We can probably make it happen. So
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm trying to think.
Assuming
I don't
I'm
know.
out of my job.
yeah,
Good.
we can definitely push that one towards the end of the month. So that's fine.
This is okay. I'm glad we have Kyrie to carry. Kyrie and James.
I'm sorry.
I don't carry nothing.
Oh.
What you talking about?
My name disappeared from Fairy Hook.
Yeah. Oh, Z, did you move over? Okay.
I
I
just added it back in. I think Kinder accidentally deleted it.
I didn't delete it.
Wait.
Mischief
I
and
recently
Great Hook is going to be
disappeared.
very interesting.
No,
He
no,
was
no,
in
no.
mischief.
What?
Z was in mischief.
Z was in mission.
Yeah, Z was in Mischief.
Z was in mischief.
Yeah, somebody just deleted it from Mischief and put it in Fairy Hook. I figured it was Kinder.
I've been watching. Does the page not refresh?
It does.
It does.
goes
Did you
in-
move your
in-
name from Mischief to Fairy Hook?
I did, but I didn't see a name display.
Oh, perfect.
I think
Cool.
you
That's-
accidentally deleted Kyrie's. That's why I added her back in.
So yeah, the other thing is the cell won't update for everybody until you click off of it,
Oh.
because that's how.
Oh,
works.
okay.
Yeah.
I
Um,
will just keep the clicker clicked off a bit so I can
I-
see.
I think it's going to be very funny for the second one, Mischief at Great Hook, because we got the 2 Chaos Gremlins and the known felon.
Yes.
I mean, that's also assuming that the Chaos Gremlin, one of the Chaos
Man.
Gremlins, isn't already a known felon.
I mean, like, does
Yo.
somebody
I
want to
mean,
switch there? That
all
sounds
3
like
of
a
us
pretty
could be
rough
known
group.
felons.
No,
for all we know.
no. That's totally fine. That's totally fine because it really fits the mission name.
Yeah.
We
I
have
saw the
M.
word
and
mischief
honestly-
and
Fire with
Frank, and I
fire.
went, yes.
Literally,
Honestly, Noah is definitely going to be supervising.
Oh, yeah, no.
In a supervising role. But yeah. Also, I don't know if I made it clear in the introduction. Noah is like 33. So
Oh man.
yeah,
I
he's
I-
definitely like up there.
I also forgot to mention a very important fact, and that is Mr. Sun is somewhere in his 30s, and his face is totally covered in scars, deep, unappealing scars, and his hands are adorned in white gloves.
Don't tell me what I think is unappealing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He's
Yeah, what
pretty...
the fuck? Like, okay,
I've seen your
you're
pic, Rose.
assuming
No,
a
no,
lot
no.
here. You are assuming a lot here.
Fair
really.
enough. Fair enough. To the normal public eye, it is.
Rose, no.
I would also like to put out, I love the fact that Ash is known for dragging people along with her.
For the audience, Rose just posted a picture of Scar from Full Metal Alchemist. Really, very quickly, for anybody who is going to be just listening to this, and of course I don't have the spreadsheet or anything on the screen, so I'm going to read through the mission names and descriptions real quick, and difficulties, and sort of the forecast for the coming month. So far, we have Disturbance in the Park, which is a difficulty 2 mission. A 2-star mission, I should say, because that's canon in the world. All the difficult, like, monster difficulties are organized on a 1 to 5 scale. And essentially, it's this thing has injured people, or this thing is harmless, or harmless-ish, to this thing has or is possible of practically wiping out Lacrimosa as a whole. So the danger of a monster is rated by their capability to murder in large amounts. So, yes, Kinder, can you please mute?
Oh.
So, real quick, that is a really good question, Dragon.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to ask that out loud, and because that's something I want to keep kind of.
I will decide that by the end of the session, and if I decide I want it to
Okay.
happen here, then we will run through that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's a way that the session could end as well. But
the same with.
I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, the same with anybody who has any sort of start of hunt stuff like that. We will go through that.
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah, shit, I have another one of those again. No. No.
Honestly, we'll probably just do them at the start of the hunts, then, since we have a few people with them.
At least then it's on their mind, too.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let me go through these hunts real quick. There is Disturbance in the Park, which reports of animals and people have been coming in of there being people missing in the Timber Hill Park. Mischief in Great Rock is something seems to be pulling increasingly dangerous pranks in the Great Rock District. And then finally, there is Disappearance in Fairy Hook, where a few teenagers seem to have disappeared overnight while wandering around in Fairy Hook. In Disturbance in the Park, we have Steel, Wallace, Red, and Mr. Sun. For Mischief in Great Rock, we have M, Noah, and Ash. And for Disappearance in Fairy Hook, we have Lil Willy, James, Z, and Enlil. And all of them are 2-star missions. So that is what is on the forecast for this week. I would now like everybody to take a quick moment to decide on what they want for their actually, real quick, while we're all on the Excel sheet, I want to point out that I added the Middle Tower stats page. This is going to be anything important to mostly just the amount of supply that Middle Tower has, and like what's taking away from it, what's adding to it. You can see that each of the missions are going to be giving 50 supply, and total upkeep of all of the facilities, and of course the current total supply of Lacrimosa. These will be deducted at the start of the next month and the session of the next month. And essentially, you guys are going to have to start cutting things out if we go and don't have enough supply. So this is going to be sort of the group resource. This is also going to be used for if gear is made and so on and so forth. There's other ways to be making supply as well if some of you want to take that upkeep job. This is going to be some of the more, I guess, overarching strategical stuff. It plays into it essentially. If you guys run out of stuff, Middle Tower goes under and things are going to get a lot harder for all of you. The campaign will still keep going if Middle Tower is essentially quote unquote disbanded, but it's definitely going to get harder.
Question.
Yes, answer.
Cool. All right, no more questions. I assume we only get these supply rewards if the hunt is successful, right?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Is it possible to get only a partial amount of it, or is it all or nothing?
I would say that there's some situations that you might get a partial amount. The other rewards, of course, is anything that you can, essentially you bring the monster in, or like parts of it, anything that you can haul back reasonably, and you get that as a reward, and any monster parts can be researched by Ellie. As well as if it is a failure, a failed mission, there are going to be repercussions to failing. Whether that be like reputation minuses, or the most important one being said monster coming back in a different hunt. If you are in an earlier mission and you fail your hunt and that monster is still roaming around Lacrimosa, there is a chance that on another group's hunt, that monster could appear. So, kill your target.
Wait, like as the main focus of that hunt, or just unexpectedly?
Unexpectedly.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Make sure when you're doing the job to do your job right.
Basil Geese theme music starts.
Basically, yeah, pretty much.
Question: if you fail to kill a monster from a previous hunt, if it comes back in a later hunt, would it be stronger?
Could be.
Because it's had time to grow?
Yeah, could be. I have all sorts of plans for if you guys fuck up, so don't do it.
Fantastic. Let's ruin all those plans.
Yes, ruin those plans, or else I have some things cooking for in case you don't foil those plans. But I'm sure that won't happen because you guys are gamers and you guys are going to kill everything I throw at you, guaranteed.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I get double paid?
Maybe.
Nice.
Imagine working.
I have no idea how that works.
I mean, again, as I mentioned before, there's no like real currency, but you are looked up to in, I guess, your agency, and there's a lot of stuff with you that is a little bit strange with how it's going to work with the rest of the city, because, for example, with you being less known, or not supposed to be known, it's not like you can wave around your status of like, oh, I'm a hunter, and I like that is the work that I'm doing when you go down to the docks to get food and stuff, and they're gonna be like, oh, of course, yeah, that's reasonable service for a trade, when most of your work is supposed to be secret. So I'm assuming that most of that stuff is just straight up supplied to you by your agency. That's how I'm assuming that a lot of that's going to work, but we'll put that aside for a separate conversation.
Can't wait to get my white whistle.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Is reputation going to be tracked on this sheet as well, or is that in the something else?
Probably, yeah. I will add that when I decide how I want that to look.
Okay.
And right now, you guys are neutral because you guys have no reputation and no. I can't remember what the other category was.
Thank God.
Renown?
Renown, yeah. Nobody knows about you, and nobody cares about you right now. And that will gradually change. That will also change depending on how good or bad you do on your hunts. For example, if you do bad on a hunt, you might gain a lot of renown still. Not in a good way, though.
Notorious.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Cool. What's up?
How old are the sisters? I'm just joking.
Around
Actual
the age.
relevant question.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. You might have been joking, but damn.
They are.
Oh.
I have
And Ellie, I suppose that matters since we all have ours introduced.
Everyone in general.
Yeah, I want to say that I had it written down in the thing, but I definitely might have just missed it. I totally missed it. They're all around the Everbright sisters are around 26. Ellie is let me see if I can find this. She is, there it is, 24. And Jackie is like 28. So they're all in sort of their 20s. The Everbright sisters like recently graduated from like an advanced program at Lacrimosa University. Ellie, well, we'll get into her stuff when we get to there. And then Jackie also graduated from that same university, but is the Everbright sisters' senior. So yeah. And of course, all of their looks are in the document, I guess. I didn't really explain Sarah that well for the audience, and I apologize about that. She has shoulder length brown hair with a green bow, or a like dark, very dark green, almost blackish bow on either side of her head. And generally wears like a brown suit jacket with a black dress shirt and tie. Candace having the red hair back in a ponytail and wearing a black suit, white dress shirt, black tie. So. And then Ellie has a little hairband and her hair tied up in a bun, with like a sort of more like steampunk-esque like working outfit. She actually originated from Heliosphere, one of the other cities, and came over to Lacrimosa to study Manatech. So.
Yo, Pog. Same.
Cool. I think that lets us get into the last matter that we really wanted to look into today, which was setting up for downtime activities. There is a category for it in player info. It is the light blue one. It says downtime activity. Choose one of the things off the list. And then if we want to do any RP stuff today, we totally can.
The list was in the campaign document, right?
Correct.
The list is in the oh yeah, the list is in the campaign document. Yeah, there should be something in the table of contents that will lead you down there. It should be downtime activities. You can just click on it
Under
and then
player info, it looks like.
Yeah, on the Excel sheet. Yeah. Cool. Those are all the activities you can choose from. I would like to
about the Sarah activities.
What was that?
Question about the Sarah activities. Would compiling information work if we haven't done any hunts yet?
Yeah, it's essentially just like helping to gather information for upcoming hunts. So whatever reports would be coming in, you guys would be milling through them and sort of seeing like what similarities does this have with other monsters, so on and so forth. So
Gotcha.
Yep.
I have a question too.
Yes.
Is the training section currently off limits because it hasn't been built yet?
No, you would just be training over in the guild and not the actual, like, not actual middle tower. So you would be training off-site, which means you may run into some other people as well. But all of those options are still available.
Is there a written list of the downtime activities?
Yes, it is in the campaign document.
Okay.
It is on page 6.
Under resources, downtime activities.
Man, nothing like writing a 18-page campaign document for all of my friends. The one thing that I know all of my friends like doing, reading.
Yes, reading. I can do that. I can definitely do that thing.
Ah, yes. We are literate. Like all the literate
Yeah,
folks.
totally. Like, yeah, the one thing your friends love, reading. Totally, not half of your friends don't know how to read.
Yum, yum,
What?
good.
I'm just looking through the downtimes and finding the biggest numbers. I'm just gonna put that one down. I don't know letters. So just,
Oh, can we write one in right now?
Yes, that is what we are doing.
Start of every
Whatever.
month, it looks like.
Yes.
Whatever makes it so I can blow things up better.
I'm looking
That'd
forward
probably
to
be-
everybody taking training and being super selfish.
That would probably be hone mana
Imagine.
manipulation.
No. Do better. Train me.
Don't worry, early I'll carry.
I really like the train somebody else option because technically, if y'all cooperate and there's somebody who's like a few XP off of a level, you can just take 2 people and have them help train them and gain them like 3 XP total if they also do general skill. So technically, if you want to stack XP onto somebody, that is something that I have allowed you guys to do.
Yeah, who said that in the chat? Like funneling strats, here we go, or
Yeah,
something.
let's all help one
That was
person
What if we
Rose.
train.
just choose one character? We choose one character. We help train them, and they get up to they go up like 3 levels right
I mean,
off
I would
the
just,
bat.
I would
There's
just like to
11
point
of
out
us,
something. If 5 people help me, I can get us a library to help us with magic.
Hey, there's
Just-
Yeah, let's like not do funnel strats.
Yeah, no, God.
Like,
I also have multiple ways to get experience from from playing. So
Hey, but technically, there's 11
Mhm.
of you here.
We could level
all-
somebody up twice.
We level
Twice,
two people.
yeah. No, you could give somebody 2 levels off of one downtime thing.
God.
I will
saying.
say though something very important about this, because giving you guys essentially free XP is a little bit wild. If it so happens that you are sent into the infirmary, you will not be able to claim the general skills. So if you have to rest, then it will move that over. Some things will be claimed right off the bat. A lot of the like on your next mission you get to do this or give other hunters this. Say you are the last hunt of the month. If you take the give stuff to other hunters' hunts, then by the time it gets to you, it doesn't matter if you're put into unstable, because you have already essentially done your task and helped the other hunters. So,
Well, something I was just getting for clarification. I assume I know the answer, but I was gonna ask. If we go to unstable and then like get magically healed in whatever ways people have, or non-magically healed, does that still like is that still like we have a like an injury, or is it like is that all fully gone? Is it just mean ending a hunt at unstable that we have to get addressed?
there are ways to fix unstable in the middle of a hunt, but there is not a lot of ways to like permanently heal some of the wounds that would be required for you to go into an unstable state. Like broken limbs, big old stab wounds, among other several things that could happen to your characters.
A 4-inch hole in your chest. What? Who would do that?
28
Never.
stab wounds.
Yeah.
You don't want to give him a chance, huh?
Yeah, 37 times in the chest.
I do have a question myself, though.
Yeah.
Is help out in the med bay? That's updated, right?
It has not been updated. I will update it after this, but because I want to go back and look at pretty much exactly what I said and copy that over. So I want to look back in the VOD for that. So it has not been updated. The thing that is currently there is not the that is the old version of what I was planning on it, because I was looking at it and I was like, man, that really doesn't incentivize people to take this. So I was like, what is some other things that I can do?
Is there any reason for us to do medical bay on this first month, since none of us are injured, or will it count like counteractively kind of thing if any of us are hurt in our first mission? Or
I mean, it definitely will. So say Rose is helping out in the infirmary, and who's taking general skills? Amy is taking general skills. She wouldn't be able to claim that reward unless somebody, like if she goes into unstable during her mission, she wouldn't be able to claim that reward unless somebody was helping out in the infirmary. So generally, yes, it is definitely going to help for somebody to be there, even though technically right now nobody is really injured.
So, how does the time work then for downtime activities? Like, how do we know when we have claimed something or when we can't claim something?
I can help y'all and specify it a little bit better on the things, like on each of the things. There's some of them that I want to specify that if you get hurt like in the middle of the month, you would claim like partial reward. For example, the all of the supply missions, those ones where you're like going and doing work every day for these other groups, you would be rewarded for each time. So if you get unstabled in the middle of the month, you would claim partial instead of full.
Okay.
So on and so forth. So There's a few other specifications that I want to make on there. I want to flesh this out a little bit more, but this is mostly just so we know sort of the idea of what people are going to be doing. Also, so we can do a little bit of RP stuff today if we so desire, since, I mean, we may have time. So anybody who would like to do any of that and spend some time with other characters who are either working around or with them, or do other stuff anyways, can do that.
Am I still physically carrying everybody's files?
That is up to you, bud. Those, if you want those to be in your big old briefcase or in your house or wherever you want those to be, that is where they can be. So.
The briefcase.
Cool.
I imagine I came straight here.
Any other questions?
No, system seems pretty laid out. Looks like we all, for the most part, got our times all put together.
Yeah.
When would you like to do the first actual hunt?
Probably by next weekend.
Okay.
Since we're doing 3 of them on top of this first week, that pretty much sets us up for, we're going to have to do 2 of them in 1 week at some point, since we sort of started this in the middle of the month. That was just what sort of worked out for people. Yeah, by this weekend, I would like to try and do the first one. It can also be sometime this week. It just can't be Wednesday. So, because I have plans Wednesday to do some stuff. So, but other than that, I should be pretty free. Also, I think Friday should work out. I can adjust times around it because that should be earlier in the day. So,
I
yeah.
actually have Friday through Monday off this coming week, so I'm pretty free.
I will update the page with any days that I like guaranteed can't do and my schedule, so you guys can also work around that. So, but yeah, so by this first weekend, whatever group wants to take it is going to be available this weekend. Can feel free to, except for, of course, the one with Enlil, which will be pushed towards the end of the month. So
We could do like Tuesday for mission 1. Some Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just
Tuesday
looking at
works
everyone's
for me.
availability.
We can figure it out.
Yeah, we can figure it out in Discord.
yeah,
It's true.
and I am going to follow. I think it was Rose's suggestion, and make a looking for group discussion channel for, in the private Lacrimosa channels.
FG discussion. Nice.
Yeah.
It's like all my Final Fantasy servers I'm in.
So yeah, if you guys need to do any talking about organizing that stuff, put it there, and then I can update everybody else for when we're going to be doing that. So yeah. Cool. Is that all the questions for now on this?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's look at doing some.
I don't know how many people were away when I mentioned it. I know a lot of people were still here, but Mr. Sun would ask if it would be okay to meet with you in private and just gestures broadly to the entire group. I work for the Celestine or corporation, and it would be nice to
Write that
gather
down.
strengths and weaknesses of who I'm going to be working with so I can make sure that we work to the best of our ability together.
If you show your cards, I'll show you mine.
He pulls out a badge.
Not a
That's
No
I don't think that's
card.
what they meant, but okay.
This is
I have
this is my
Pulls out a
card.
business card.
Has
Pulls out-
Mr.
pulls
Sun
out
written
a
on it.
Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Is that a
Pulls out
cop?
Jack
Is
of-
this guy a
Pull
cop?
out Ash pulls out her magic cards. Wait, is this what you mean?
Is
like-
this
Yeah,
guy a cop?
Wait, use cards for magic.
Just pull out a rock with and I just write
No,
Mr.
it's-
Sun on
it's-
it.
Magic together.
It's not that kind of badge. It's like one of the you'd have a badge if you worked at like Google or whatever. Like it's a
Yeah, it's
badge with his
it's
like
a
work
key card.
information.
Oh,
The only
okay.
card I
My name
carry.
is Mr. Sun.
It literally has his photo, which
Mr.
is the exact
Perfect
same
Sun.
suit, and it pretty much looks like it was taken 5 minutes ago, but that's just how he always looks.
Okay, in that case, Z takes out a card as well.
Yo.
Does everyone have business cards? Do I just need to invest in business cards? Is this
Did
just
I-
a thing that I
Oh.
need to do?
I'm honestly
Were these
surprised you
handed
don't
out
have them already,
earlier?
Ash.
Were these cards handed out earlier? Did I not get one?
I didn't get one either.
No, it's from our
I didn't
backstories, our backgrounds.
No. Like in
Oh, wait.
character, were these cards
Please-
handed out earlier?
please tell me
Did I-
you
did I
put-
miss that?
Please tell me that you put points into business card as one of the things you have to choose for being like the background you are. Like,
Kind of, yeah, actually.
God damn.
Here.
This is
yeah.
a personal business. This is different.
Oh wait, no, I do have something kind of like that. Ash will
no.
pull out her student ID.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No, I already have that, but thank you. They're mainly like extra stuff.
You already have a student ID.
Wait, you have first.
Wait, do you have a student ID, or do you have my ID?
No, I do have your student records or an ID.
Why do you have that?
Why doesn't he have
You ever
them?
heard of doing a background check?
Why
Pulls
doesn't
out
he-
badge again and shows her.
The thing is, what you have mine, and I don't have my own.
She's like, "Why do you have my
I
student
don't
ID?"
have
Just pulls
access to
out my own
those.
again.
I don't even have access to those. What the hell?
You hold up your student ID and he's like, "No, it's fine. I already know you got a C+ in biology. We don't
No,
need that."
or he just like pulls out like a second ID and hands it to her.
I will
Like,
have you know, I got a B+ in biology. Thank you
Mm.
very much.
These records show differently.
It's true. She's not a failing student. She's rather academic, even.
Yeah, no, she's actually a very good student. And the fact that she's extremely smart, it's just that her social reputation ain't great. Gee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based off of what I've gathered, she's the smartest one in the group, just not the most social.
I want to
Yeah, that's what I thought. No, I just wasn't sure if they were.
gather everybody back together real quick, just to check in. So is there any like sessions that we want to do? Does anybody want to have that like private session with early, and we can start there?
Well,
I'm
well,
free
I mean,
for
part
like
of that
the
event.
next 20 minutes or so. If you want to do that.
what?
Cool.
I'm free for the next 20 minutes or so if you want to do that.
Yeah.
This is out of character. This is just me saying, "Hey, do you want to explain what your character is and what they are capable of doing?"
Early is a really good excuse for me
Yeah.
to do character like deeper character introductions essentially. So
Yeah.
that
yeah,
is why I
I'm,
used him in the
I'm alright with
trailer.
joining for that.
M's
So down.
willingness depends on the answer to the question I typed.
I got nothing to
Because
hide.
If M has any indication that that is known, there is no way they're talking.
What is it now?
Would Mr. Sun's record say M's real? Like the stuff, anything about M before they were M, essentially. Is any of that?
No.
Like,
No, I just have an M for M.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
It's an empty file.
Cool.
This is
Let's do a quick, since Zach is going to have to depart soon. Let's do Mr. Sun with no avail, and then we can do some other groupings later, whether that is with Mr. Sun or with other NPCs or whatever we decide to do.
Player biography.
I'd enjoy one with Mr. Sun.
Everyone wants to be with Mr. Sun.
Smiles.
As it
I
seemed
want to
like he
be-
gestured to the whole room of
Yeah.
Yeah.
you would like to
did.
discuss strengths and weaknesses.
I would
I mean,
very
let's
much
just-
like to do one with Enlil and Mr. Sun as well. So
Yeah.
we will
I mean, it
we will
seems like
definitely
it's
get
just-
to that this session. I want to see
I'm
this.
also down.
Yeah,
Want
I mean,
to be
it would
far
be
away from
suspicious
Mr.
to
Sun.
not talk to him about this one.
I
You can
would
all-
I would like some other groupings to happen, and not just run everybody through or run early through the whole gauntlet.
Actually, if you want to do Enlil and Mr. Sun first, I can do Mr. Sun in another time, and I would like to do one with Enlil after Enlil does something with Mr. Sun.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure, we can do that. I just don't know how long that's going to take. That's the only.
That's fair. I
Yeah,
can.
just-
I'm flexible. There's
Okay.
there's a couple of things I want to do before I go to bed, and I want to go to bed at like 10:30, but I
Okay.
don't know how long the other things are going to take.
Just
I-
make another
We'll play
page
it
on
by
the
ear
Excel
then.
sheet.
We'll play it by
Or
ear
just make
then.
another page in the Excel sheet that's like, who wants to meet with who? Just here's the list who we want to meet.
Seems like we have plenty for tonight, so I think I'm gonna bounce out for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Good beans.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that goes for anybody else who
Bye,
feels
Zach.
like they want to bounce out. So, or if you want to stay and listen, feel free as well.
I do want to mention I didn't say I said do it in private with them, A, because that's like kind of in character, and B, there would be a lot of crosstalk essentially if it wasn't.
Yeah. And we can still do it in here, but unless we would like to not, is there like
There's
more
no
important-
reason we wouldn't.
Actually, you know what? Let's anybody who's not going to be in this particular thing can jump down to waiting room, and if you want to listen in on the conversation, you can listen in on stream. But most of this is going to be separated. Like this is going to be player knowledge and not personal knowledge for any of you, of course, because it's happening in private. And I will also say that in the lobby, this is something I forgot to mention, there are also like 2 or 3 rooms that go off to the side that are just like, they essentially look like a I guess like a practice room, like if you've been in band or whatever, just like a small carpeted room with some chairs and stuff for talking mostly to clients in private, so you're not doing it, of course, out in the open for in case there's like sensitive information. So those rooms would fit perfectly for this. So cool. So let's take Enlil and early, and let's run through this little situation, and then whoever else wants to do some stuff, we can get Sleepy and Enlil after. So, or Noah and Enlil. So
Perfect.
cool.
So everyone else drops to waiting room.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
Goodbye.
could we do like little bitty joke RPs while we're down there?
What do you mean, like in the thing? Like
In the waiting room.
Like, I mean, it's not going to be like recorded or anything.
Roll 20 chat.
You guys could keep talking and
Or-
roll 20 if you want to, but yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It would certainly
kinda like
distract
the-
me.
Yeah, like RP similar to the, yelling about the student ID. Anyway,
I mean, you guys can just try to keep the roll 20 chat pretty clear while we do this, since
Mhm.
some of these may be a little bit more serious. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Will absolutely distract me.
yeah, 100%. Okay.
Cool. I will just drag Derek down.
goodbye, Derek. Well, in that case, assuming that Candace shows us to a room that we can use.
Yeah, we can, in fact, just sort of run through that. Since you mentioned to the group that you wanted to have that discussion, and that perked Enlil's ear. Enlil was the first one to take you up on that offer. And Candace smiles and remembers, like, oh, I forgot to show you guys these. And shows you over to the 3 doors that line one of the walls, and opens one for you, and gestures inside, and it's like, if you guys would like to have a place for private conversation, here you are.
Right. Walking into the little meeting room and stopping on the way there to actually get his briefcase. He then sets the briefcase on the table, opens it, and pulls out a stack of files, setting them aside and closing his briefcase. Again, he takes a seat and gestures for Enlil to do the same, should she choose. And
Should they sit down?
Enlil, it is unexpected to see you again, and I feel it is important to mention that I do not hold any past encounters we've had against you, and I look forward to your assured strength with the missions ahead.
It seems quite nice to have someone who at least knows how to fight, or at least on the surface level.
I'm honored you think that, considering how our last encounter went. However, it is good to know that not everyone here seems to be ill-equipped. That being said, he takes a moment and flips through the files for a moment before opening one, which has a fairly simple, just like maybe grocery store security camera photo of Enlil and more or less his own summary about her. I do not really know what it is you're capable of, regardless of how thoroughly you handed my own ass to me. I am not really sure what this shield is that you mentioned earlier, aside from maybe a physical shield, and I would love to hear more.
I imagine she would just gesture ever so slightly to her heart and just say, the shield is not so much a physical object, more as an idea or a value that I hold. Though it can be considered a strength, is the sword, and I imagine she would take it off of her waist, though not unsheath it, and simply hold it up for you to see.
Well, glad you didn't use that on me. So sword play is your strength. Is that how you'll be either defending or killing any monsters that we run across?
I would certainly hope so. I would
Well,
be surprised to find anything immune to this.
And what's your opinion on sentient, potentially non-dangerous monsters?
So long as they don't pose a threat, then I have no need to protect anyone from them. Protection is my top concern.
He actually takes a moment to write that down. Very well. I'm sure you know that I am basically a run-of-the-mill everyday human when it comes to my abilities to defend and protect others, as well as my reliance on tools to assault my enemy. Everything else, of course, is confidential, and what you know is nothing's changed. I still work for the Celestine Corporation, and my number one priority is saving as many lives as possible within and outside of Lacrimosa city walls.
Oh, that's news to me. I didn't know that you were actually in the business of protecting people.
That is the sole reason I joined the organization.
Is this turning a new leaf?
Just got off on the wrong foot with you, that's all.
I see.
You do understand that it's pretty easy to assume he gestures to all of you. Might not be a human with the best interests of people in mind, right? Well,
I legitimately didn't understand that. Sorry.
Oh, he gestures to you. You understand how maybe you would not appear to be a human when you arrive to Lacrimosa, correct?
I understand how Mr. Sun might have some circumstantial evidence, but nothing beyond that.
You
Unless
just
Mr. Sun has some insider detail, and though very much looks human.
I mean, she's wearing a suit of armor, right?
Okay, sure.
And has colorless hair and eyes.
Yeah, also aren't very common traits in most people, so.
Normal, but not monster for sure. Maybe.
Definitely out
Well,
of the ordinary and
he
suspicious.
He opens the file. Colorless hair and eyes, rarely seen in the public eye, arrived here under anonymity. Doesn't appear to have any actual job or profession within the city. No real records on file. No police history. You are essentially a ghost, aside for every now and then appearing within the public eye. I know well that you are not malicious in nature and appreciate that. But hopefully you understand that when I first approached you, that was not fully known yet.
This very much makes sense.
Good. I'm just glad neither of us died when we first met. That would make for pretty awkward alliance, I imagine, between Frostholm and here, though I don't know much of anything about Frostholm.
Well, so long as we're both in the business of protecting people, then
Yes.
I would look forward to. How do I complete sentence, please?
Working with you.
I too look forward to going on a mission with you in the future.
Working together, there it is.
Working together. Yes.
As long as we're in the business of protecting.
I'm sure that is unavoidable, and as a human and person, I hope your strength will keep me to live a long, healthy life in this cooperation. And with that, he kind of closes the file and sets it aside, and stands up to leave the room with her, unless she wants to ask some questions for him.
You weren't going to ask about any weaknesses?
He assumes she doesn't have any, to be honest. She did kick his ass. Unless you mention that. No, probably not.
Yeah, I think she would just see Mr. Sun walking away and just say that. Literally, just, you weren't going to ask about any weaknesses?
Pauses. You have weaknesses?
Just talking.
He takes a seat again. So what is it that you, the protector of the people, fear or have difficulty facing?
It's just very difficult to talk to people. That's about it. Off the top of my head, anyway.
Fortunately, I don't think a lot of the things that we're going to be slaying out in the wild will try to hold a conversation with you. But
that's my hope as well.
Should you want to let bygones be bygones, I'm not exactly the most impressionable person, and don't leave a great taste in the mouth of others. But should you want to practice this conversation, then I'm more than happy to at another time.
Another time, perhaps.
Yeah, right now I am. He checks his watch. Yes, right now I am still on the clock.
I see.
And with that, he will gesture to leave and collect another person.
a good conclusion.
Cool.
Gonna have some talks with the angel at some time.
Cool. So, Zach said he wanted to do something with Enlil. I'm not sure exactly what picture this will take, but early if you can go snag him, and we'll give you a quick break, and then probably throw you in with somebody else as well. So.
Yeet.
Hello.
Welcome.
Okay,
I can
so
only imagine it's Noah catching me as I'm exiting the room or something.
oh, I was just gonna break into your house, but yeah.
Oh, you're wanting to go and
Again?
do. You're
like a couple days later, like a day or two later,
A couple days later.
just kind of like catch up, and because I imagine that you being like noticeably friendly around me in public would not be a very good for face for the esteemed Enlil to be hanging out with the homeless man Noah. So for saving face reasons, I would have not approached you in public, but kind of gone a roundabout way and kind of let myself in.
I just, coming back to my house, I just find you there.
Yep, pretty much.
Eating a bowl of cereal, perhaps?
Yep.
all right. Let's run this scenario. So we'll say it's about like 4 or 5 days after the the orientation day.
Yeah,
and Enlil is coming home from doing some honing of her skills over at the guild, and it's probably sometime in the evening. I would say probably about 6-7 o'clock ish. I wouldn't say it's like totally dark out yet, but it's starting to get dark. Nice sunset. And you get home, and you perhaps I guess I'll just let you take it from here.
You walk into your house, unlock the door, or do whatever it is you do to get into your house.
Yeah.
And you just walk into your kitchen, and as happens once or twice a month, you just see Noah sitting at your kitchen table eating a bowl of Frost Home Flakes and just gives a nod.
Noah, you have to stop doing this.
Sorry, I just figured being out in public with someone like me wouldn't be very becoming of someone of your stature.
I don't particularly think my stature holds much meaning in Lacrimosa. Though,
Well, it was worth a thought.
can't you just talk to me in the middle tower?
Well, I wanted to get your opinion of the rest of the people we'll be working with. And I didn't want to be overheard. I'm curious to know your first impressions.
And I imagine you ask everyone this?
Yes.
And you're not lying to my face right now.
Okay, yes, I'm lying to your face. I just wanted to ask you because you seem to have an interesting view of the world, and I kind of wanted to look into that a little.
Well, let's us aside. Sits down at the table. Well, in my opinion, they seem like a group of misfits, and they seem like they're going to be in more danger than they will be of help.
They did seem to give off that air, didn't they?
At least the citizens of Lacrimosa will be safe in the city walls. But if these ones are to go out and looking for trouble, they'll be the hardest to protect.
Yeah. Well,
Though I give them the room to surprise me.
I've decided to pair up with the two, well, chaos gremlins, trying to keep an eye on them.
Which ones?
Oh, you know, the loud one, what was their name? I believe it was
Ash?
Amy, Ash. Yes. And the quiet one, which weirdly hangs around with the loud one, M, I believe their name was. They gave me, the vibe of someone who needs to be, have an eye kept on them.
And you're the one to do that?
Well, as someone who has ample degree of experience getting caught doing things you're not supposed to, I figured I'd point them in the right direction.
You never cease to surprise me, Noah.
I'm just gonna take a big sip of the milk and put the bowl down and say thank you for the meal. I'll see myself out. I look forward to seeing what you can do in action.
Aren't you going to tell me your first impressions of the group?
Of course. And he turns around and sits back down and pours himself another bowl of Frost Home Flakes. So.
By all means, help yourself.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you very much for your hospitality. So, Wallace and I actually have met before. I was living with him for a bit, so he's, as I expected, a little, what's the word to use? Paranoid? Little shaky. James seems, well, you know James. I don't. Kind of hard to get a vibe off of him. Red seems like someone we need to keep an eye on. They seem a little, how do I put this? Shifty? Shifty. That's the word I'm going to use, yeah.
Agreed.
Willie's a good kid. He's his heart's in the right place, and I think he'll do just fine. But this Mr. Sun character, you talked to him the other day. He seems capable, but I feel like he's not showing all of his cards. Ash and M, they, as I have stated, seem like capable, but someone we should probably keep an eye on for other reasons, like making sure they don't accidentally burn down Lacrimosa. I don't trust Z. Their kind has always been...
Their kind?
You know the type. People who are always out to, how's the phrase go? Watch the world burn. Not in a literal sense, but just kind of sit back and watch the world tear itself apart. I don't know. And the kid, Steele was his name? Let's hope that he has at least some merit.
What is your merit?
I have a uncanny ability to get into places I'm not supposed to. And with that comes knowledge of certain areas.
I suppose I can't argue with that.
As you can see here. As Noah says, get into places I'm not supposed to. He just kind of gestures to the room.
Speaking of getting into places you're not supposed to, are there any places you are supposed to be right now?
Oh shit, I have a meeting. Yes, I must be going. I have a meeting with Ellie. I am late for. Right.
Are you
yes.
lying to my face again?
No, I am not actually. I actually have something I need to talk to her about. I will catch up with you later, probably in more public space now that I've been informed that that's not bad. Got it. Well, have fun with work.
I'll be seeing you.
And I walk out the front door.
Cool. Would you want to run that segment with Ellie real quick? I'm not sure.
Sure.
If you wanted to actually do that. Cool.
I got 20 minutes or so. Sure.
Cool.
Into the waiting room I go?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's fine. Cool. Let's run that real quick, and I just want to double check. You build relations, hang out with Ellie. Okay, cool. So you have an actual downtime activity for this. Building a connection with an NPC.
Yes.
That's what I like to see.
Mm-hmm. A very specific thing in mind, too. I was just like, you say she's from Heliosphere, do you? That might give you an inkling as to what I might want to be talking about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's run that then. So you just run straight from
straight from Engel's house back to Middle Tower.
Okay. It takes you not too long to get back to Middle Tower. It's not too far of a walk or run by these matters, but you get back there and you see that lights are still on. And use your actual normal key to get into the building. Are you currently living are you still living with Wallace right now?
I think that I did take one of the dorms at Middle Tower.
Okay, yeah. Then you definitely have a key to get into the place for in case you need
I imagine Wallace's place is not exactly built for two people living there.
Yeah, and it also makes sense this being, as I explained in the trailer to Mr. Sun, you are currently on a sort of program to be let back into Wall's sort of a public service sort of deal. So you are in close watch right now.
Yeah, and honestly, I probably wasn't supposed to be outside at this point of the night. So I might be sneaking back into Middle Tower.
Okay. So you head back in, and you assumedly run down the stairs afterwards and meet up with Ellie, who is hard at work. She has something on one of her several tables that she is putting together. It's hard to really tell what it is, but you definitely see a pulley and some kind of fulcrum, and you think it might be a trebuchet or a catapult.
Say, that sounds like a trebuchet.
Yeah. But it's
is that a siege weapon?
It's very small. It's no bigger than your keyboard and length, width.
Yeah. I built one of those in high school.
Yeah. And she is hard at work on this and does not even hear you come in. And we can start seeing.
All right.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I kind of walk in and is there another a bench or a chair or something to sit across from or in the room?
There's a few chairs strewn about. Like I said, this place is
I pull up a chair and do the thing where you sit with your chest facing the back of the chair and kind of put your arms up on the back of the chair type of a thing. And I just say, "Hey Ellie, what you working on?"
Noah.
Oh, sorry. I
Fucking-
let myself in.
Yeah, I can see that.
We had an appointment, I think.
Yeah, I sort of lost track of time.
So did I. I'm actually late.
Oh, well, you know what? No time like the present, I guess. So what do you want to talk about again?
Oh, you're from Heliosphere, right?
Yep. Born and raised for most of my life.
Interesting. Okay. What brought you to Lacrimosa, just in general?
These
I was curious.
babies. And she gestures over to a section of her wall, which is like exclusively Manatech equipment or like mixed
sense.
Manatech machinery.
All right.
And she's like, I love this stuff. I learned about it when I was in Heliosphere. A caravan brought over some tools, and we don't have anything like that over in Heliosphere. It's all powered off of steam. It's all mechanical. It's all pneumatics. Or I guess not quite pneumatics, but you know, it's everything is steam powered over there. Thanks to our ruler and god, the daughter of fire. She assists with doing a lot of those things and taught us how to sort of harness that energy, the energy that she creates regularly, especially when she's mad. But, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I had
you had something to say?
I had something I wanted you to look at. Something that I'm not actually 100% sure what it is.
Okay.
And I think you might find it a little fascinating.
Hit me with it.
And I take the silver ring off of my middle finger, and I give it a little flick, and molten metal extends out from the silver ring into the shape of a glowing orange key.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of look at it, and I hand it to Ellie.
Holy what? Where did you find this?
Oh, you know, around.
You don't just find something like this around.
You'd be
Noah.
surprised. I was.
This is a magic item. This is different from something like Manatech, where we use where we use equipment to manipulate. Sorry, I'm getting excited. Mana in the air to do what we need it to do. No, this thing bends reality. Like,
oh,
yeah. Let me show you an example. I'm sure you've. I mean, I hope
I've experimented a bit, but
yeah. But I just
nothing.
Let me do some quick experimenting, and she grabs 3 locks. Just from like over in the locker, she just rummages them out and throws them on the table. One of them is just a normal like key lock. One of them is a padlock, and the other is a Manatech lock. She can I use that key real quick?
Oh, of course. And I hand the key. Be careful, it does get rather warm.
And she holds it very carefully by the actual ring part and puts it up to the lock, just the normal lock, and it slips into the lock and molds into it, and you just hear click, 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 and it pops open. And she's just like, oh my god. Okay. And she holds it up to the padlock. And instead of like going, of course it can't go into the lock, it makes this like cup at the end of it that grabs on to the actual padlock and very quickly spins it into the combination, and it pops open. Click, 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 pop. Oh, it's not just okay. And she holds it up.
That's interesting.
She holds
I
it up.
I never thought to try it on something that didn't have a keyhole.
Yeah. Here's the best one. Here's the kicker. And she holds it up to the Manatech lock. And now Manatech locks are very similar to, like, say, an electric lock on a door where you'd like punch in a key and then it would open. Except it needs like it needs a signature, some sort of like almost like fingerprint or handprint or something. You would put your hand up to it and it would identify who the person is based on like who is standing in front of it, and then it would open if it's like on a list of people who it's allowed to be. When she puts the key up to this lock, it shorts out.
It just breaks.
It's it's noticeable from looking on it the outside. It's like the circuit's fried in it. The proverbial circuit's fried. And you just hear it and then flick in. All the key did is it extended out and then like pressed against the front of it, and then the whole thing just shut down.
Oh my.
This, anywhere where you're not supposed to get into, this thing will get you in there. And that's
Useful
suspicious.
in this line of work.
Also that. Noah, I heard from Candace, because of course we've deliberated about all of the people that she was hiring. I heard you are from outside the walls. Can I see your forearm real quick?
Yes, and I pull up the coat. I expect you mean this.
Yeah, and she stares at the branding. It's sort of it's a signature per patient, and it has some information in like sort of encrypted in it. It's almost like a barcode or a QR code, and has information encrypted on it on when you were sent out of the walls and why you were sent out of the walls. And for the audience, there is no prison in Lacrimosa. If you do crime against other people, you are essentially exiled. And I say essentially because you are still under the protection of hunters who decide to defend those areas. But you are significantly more at risk of monster attacks, of course, when you are not within the walls. And so that has been sort of the process. There are ways, rarely, to get back in the walls, but for the most part, you are sent out to live the rest of your life out there. It's not a terrible life. There are plenty of ways to get by, but it would definitely be what you would call the slums of Lacrimosa. And she looks at this and just mentions, so did you find this before or after you were, and she just holds up a little device about the size of a phone and just like runs it over your arm and looks at it and goes,
Put my sleeve down.
was that before or after she ran it over?
Oh no, I put my sleeve down after she ran it over.
After she ran it over. Okay.
She yeah.
Cool. Did you find this before or after you were exiled for thievery?
Luckily before.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I get it now. You don't really do this sort of thing anymore, right?
Of course not.
She gives sort of a sigh of relief.
I've learned my lesson and I'm turning over a new leaf, working for you guys.
That is wonderful to hear. Well,
Of course.
your secret is safe with me. Whether it is safe from some of the other people who may or may not know about it here, is up to them to reveal, but I will not go out of my way explaining any of this information to anybody. It is just between you and me.
Just kind of lean down and put my chin on my hands at the top of the chair and just be, I appreciate your discretion.
Yes, of course, of course. Anybody who... It's not every day I get to see something like that, so anybody who does something like that for me deserves a little favor, and I think a little bit of discrepancy is in order. I will make sure to put in a good word for with Candace and the rest of the group to keep things a little bit on the down low for your sake.
I appreciate that.
And cool. I think that sort of wraps up this conversation. I think we can feel good about ending it there.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to, before you head off for the night, do you want to hop down into waiting room and snag the next group of people? I don't know who else wants to do stuff.
Okay, so just say whoever wants to go up next.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool. Sure. Night.
Night. Wide. God. I love little RP sessions like this, so stuff like this makes me happy. Welcome, welcome. I'm assuming we're doing a Mr. Sun and Ash little private session.
Let me get out of my work email and open a Lacrimosa player biographies and refresh my memory. Yes, the arsonist.
So, is this sort of around the same time that you were doing these with everybody else, or is this like a day or two later, or what's sort of the timeline for this?
This is my hope, anyway, is as soon as he exited like the meeting room with Enlil, he just looks at the pile of files in his hand, opens the top one after shifting Enlil's to the bottom, and he'll say, Ash, or Ashlyn Smith, would you be willing to have a quick chat with me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that sounds fine, I guess.
Perfect. Please, come on inside. And he'll walk inside and take a seat and open his file before himself, which is pretty much empty, save for her photo, name, and police record.
Don't mind that.
Yeah, so it says here that you've been caught setting trailers, bushes. Hold on. He flips the page. Yeah, no, this is just a list of things you've caught on fire, actually. Do you have a reason for that?
Uh,
We can circle back to that if
yeah.
Okay. So monster hunting is a very serious and dangerous job, and you are, looks again at the file, quite young. So what what is it that you think you're going to be able to do against the nightmares that lurk in the dark of Lacrimosa?
You know how I set a lot of things on fire? That.
So, I imagine your weakness is the great many monsters that are immune to fire and other elements.
Well, it's not just fire that I can do.
Oh. Explain.
She'll kind of hold up her two hands, and little sparks of electricity shoot between each hand.
Oh, I see.
I have an affinity for a few different things, and I'm still learning how to do more.
I take back my initial thought. I believe this will actually be a great help in defending people against monsters. So long as you can rein in that desire for property damage, you will be a wonderful asset to the team.
I mean, I try not to burn, important things.
Hmm.
That's why it's
Well,
mainly bushes, run down trailers.
maybe we'll take trips to the junkyard every now and then. You can help them incinerate some stuff. And I know I didn't give everybody an official name, and I might have come off as a little offstandish, but there's a lot of things I cannot share with people. It's just part of the job. But what I can tell you is I am more or less your everyday run of the mill human being who is equipped with tools such as firearms in order to hunt and kill monsters. I typically get information from the company I work for, um, whose name I am unfortunately not able to disclose. Um, but I was tasked with helping out the middle tower operation, and going from here, I look forward to saving lives and killing people. The only thing that I think everybody should be aware of is if I am going to die, don't save me, get away from me. Because as soon as I die, all of the grenades on my person will detonate. So that is the only thing in which you should keep in mind.
You know, I want to ask why, but I feel like I'm not going to get an answer.
You most certainly will not.
Yeah, that tracks. I'm not going to lie.
But I do carry, he pats his briefcase, a fairly large grenade launcher and a lot of grenades. So that's what I can offer to the team. You should definitely, based off of your interests anyway, enjoy seeing me use it.
Yeah, just. I hope that I don't use my skill set when you're using those.
Yeah.
I work better up close.
Okay, yeah, I will never use this if it puts anybody else in danger. My primary goal is to make sure everybody in this operation leaves the operation alive and well. That means
What?
not blowing you up with a grenade.
Which, I mean, it would be pretty funny.
And it tilts his head to the side and makes some internal comments. Well, do you have any questions for me? I am curious about what weaknesses you might have.
What do you
Any-
want to hunt monsters?
A long time ago, I made a mistake and some people died when I very likely could have helped. And I regretted it enough to dedicate the skills I had learned during my education to start saving lives and slaying monsters because it is the best use of my time and talents. Killing monsters is the effect of my main goal, which is to save people from the horrific ends that monsters can cause beyond even just death. Hopefully you're satisfied with that answer.
More or less.
And you? Why do you want to kill monsters?
You know, that's a good question. I've kind of always had an aptitude for it when it comes to combat magic. I feel like this is the safest outlet for other people.
Very well. Final question before I let you go on with your day. Where did you come from? Because I do not have any history of you here in Lacrimosa.
I moved here from Heliosphere
Interesting.
a few years ago.
The daughter of fire. That explains so very much.
You think?
A bit. Either way, welcome to Lacrimosa, and I look forward to working with you here in Middle Tower.
I hope we have plenty of fun together.
Smiles and stands up to make his way to the door to collect another.
Collect another. Onwards.
Excellent. I think we have time for probably one more. So when I'm not sure if there was any other situations or whatever that people wanted to run through. But just when you take a hop down, let everybody know that this is going to be the last RP segment. So if anybody wants to get anything out, to let me know. So, all right, to hop up here.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Miss. How you doing?
Good. So, are we doing another segment with you? Is that sort of what you guys had talked about down there? I'm not.
They never mentioned that they wanted to do anything else, so
okay.
Just kind of.
Cool.
I guess I will go find out as well then.
Cool.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hello, Wallace.
Is this a Wallace and Mr. Sun thing, or did you want to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It is. I've thought some things over, and I would like to discuss things with Mr. Sun.
Oh, great. You're the one person I was actually kind of worried about having a conversation with.
Good.
Fucking conspiracy theorist.
Excited about this conversation as I am with most of these.
Okay.
So same sort of situation. Mr. Sun walks out and calls over Wallace. Then I guess we can start from there.
I feel like it's more of in this situation, it's more of a Wallace walking over rather than being invited in.
Yeah, the door opens. He flips to a different file. He opens it. Okay, next I'll be suing, and then Wallace is already there. It changes to the right file. Very well. Please come on inside.
I have some matters to take up with you, Mr. Sun.
What's good, playa? Talk to me.
What are your...
He closes the door and makes his way to the table. Interested to see where this goes already. Please, carry on.
What is your business with the boy?
The boy?
Steel.
He checks Steel's file really quick. Give me a second.
For what reason were you looking for him earlier?
Yes. Cody did not fill out any of the information on the character sheet. Great. Fucking beautiful. You came in here hot when I got no info, dog.
Uh-oh.
Tell me about the boy.
No, I don't want to know about the boy. I want to know about his business with the boy.
So I was initially hired, or not hired. I was requested from my company, which has a name that is not relevant to this conversation.
Is it not?
No, it's not.
I
I
find
was
that odd.
given all of these files with as much information as we could collect on everybody who would be working for this team.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like the idea of a child fighting monsters.
He's quite capable.
Maybe he is, but it is of my opinion that a child should still enjoy being a child and not face the horrific truths that I have been battling for over 10 years. My only interest in Steel and Ash was that I don't think they should be here. I personally could think of different ways they could be spending their time.
And what reason do I have to believe you?
I don't care.
Quite frankly, Mr. Sun, I don't trust you.
Well,
and I don't trust what motives you have coming here.
I can tell you my motivation is to save as many lives as possible within the city of Lacrimosa. I have no other agenda or interests. My own personal gain is irrelevant. My own interest in the team is also irrelevant. I was told to come here. Whatever the motivation for my company is, I don't even know. You can choose to believe that or not, but my job is and has always been to save lives from being affected from the nightmares that exist in this world.
And what if your business here ends up conflicting with the interests of your company? That is, for some reason, irrelevant to this conversation, and I find it quite relevant.
Good question. Well, if they tell me their objective changes, it is likely because I'm being pulled from the project. This organization seems to be very similar, in fact, to the one I work for. And I think it is not due to the sake of competition, because that wouldn't make sense. At least, I guess it could in a way, but my department I work for is very cut and dry. I go out, I kill monsters, I minimize damage, I minimize lives lost. That is all I do. What the rest of my organization does is very similar to this. They do research on monsters, they create devices. It's all very, very basic. They are just not a public entity, and they do not like their name being known. I mean, I do not like my name being known as well, for that very same reason.
I figured as much.
If you choose not to believe me when I say I mean no ill intent, that is your prerogative. I understand. I'm not the most forthcoming individual, and I definitely am not as bubbly as some of the other members in the crew. But I hope through our time working together, you will understand my motivation is very simple.
I find your lack of energy to be quite appealing, as opposed to someone like Willie. I
much prefer to work with people who talk less. However, I don't trust your motives, and I feel like there is much you're keeping hidden from us, and I don't like it.
Well, how about this? I will tell you what I can offer to the team, and if you find the answer is good enough, you will maybe tell me what you can offer.
I suppose I could grace you with information for answering my questions.
Great. So, I am your everyday, run of the mill human. I do not have any special magical powers like some of the other members. I don't consume souls like Red. I carry around guns. He pulls out a 9mm from his waist that was hidden under his coat pocket and sets it on the table. And then he opens the briefcase, turns it towards Wallace, and inside is a folded up grenade launcher with an assortment of grenades. And I carry explosives. This is how I kill monsters. Mainly what I do is I work with a team from my company and we covertly set up either traps or ways to kill them without having to expose ourselves too much. It's how I've survived as long as I do. I take things slow and I try to be as smart and as formed as possible. One thing that you should know, if you want to know my ace in the hole or whatever, if I die, all of these grenades explode. So if I'm dying, don't try to save me or resuscitate me, just get away from me.
I see.
So if I'm getting eaten alive by something, we have an answer.
I understand.
Hopefully that puts into perspective how sincere my motivation is as well.
I imagine Wallace is still distrusting of Mr. Sun, but is a little more relieved to know that he's not so much concerned with Steele as he thought he was.
Child. He just
He
doesn't
cares
like
a lot about the boy.
Yeah. Now, Wallace, what is it that you can offer?
Well, I was originally contacted for my wealth of knowledge when it comes to the wastes, as I frequent them often. And by no means am I incapable of defending myself when out in those wastes. And he pulls out his various weapons that he keeps on him, which include a magnum, brass knuckles, and a. The garrote is less for monsters and more for people, but he always carries it on him anyway.
Why does he carry that?
Well, you know. I can offer a wealth of knowledge to the people as I've investigated several things out in the wastes. Among the internet forums, I have many friends who I discuss stuff with. And so I'm quite knowledgeable when it comes to studying monsters and studying architecture. And that's about as much as I am willing to offer to the team anyway.
Very well. That sounds like your support will be greatly appreciated. And as I mentioned, I love being as informed as possible. So I appreciate knowing somebody like you will be on our side.
Glad to help, I guess.
And I am again sorry that I cannot offer you as much information as you would like, especially now that I know your role within the group. But again, I do look forward to working with you and one day going on a mission.
I hope our future missions go better than this conversation.
Likewise,
and
I suppose.
With that, Wallace simply turns and leaves.
Okay. Little shit. Well, there we have it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. We can run a few of these. Probably the next RP session. So next month we can run through the rest of these. Or perhaps you on a mission with again?
Me?
Wallace, Red, and
Early.
Steel.
Wallace, Red, and Steel.
The-
Okay, cool. So we can run. Red, we're not really going to need to run one. More than likely. But just because you already know her.
Mm.
But we will run one for Steel on the day of that session. We'll run that. So
Okay. Yeah, we for the viewers maybe Red, but at the same time, Mr. Sun would not even ask to see Red because he knows everything about her already.
Rose did mention wanting to do one with Wallace, but she wanted to ask you some things about it first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that could be another alternate
yeah,
way.
we could. I guess that's true. We could always run a few little RP sessions before the actual segment. So we could just start a little bit earlier than the actual runtime and do a few RP segments before we get into the actual thing, and that'll do some nice paving of the way for us actually starting the hunt. So cool.